My name is... Good Lord, my sardines. It's me, Victor Frankenstein. He, him pronouns mostly, but I'm also okay with they, them, I think. The date is June 6th, QY 1832, and I am recording this from somewhere vaguely near Brambleberry Rock. For reasons I'm still not quite sure of, the Sherwood Society has chosen me to be the group's record keeper. The member who is responsible for recording the quests the society partakes in, as well as the stories of those within this little club. I suspect I was chosen for this task because I have the least talent of anyone here, and everyone else surely has skills in an area more vital to the group's success than anything I could be put in charge of, especially in comparison to the well-honed talents of the other members. What mastery do I have in any skill besides my apparent aptitude for follies? I am certain I was only selected out of an obligation they felt to give me something to do, a desire to avoid such detail-oriented work themselves, and a concern over what I would do if I was unoccupied. To be fair, about a week ago, John did tell me that I am likely the most comprehensive note-taker among us all, so a minute portion of myself does wonder if I should be flattered that they hold the only real skill I have in such high regard, or whether he meant this as a subtle insult and not a compliment at all. I'm not good at figuring that type of thing out, so I'm not really sure. Most baffling of all is why they're trusting me. Me, of all people. I don't know. I find that laughable, if I'm being honest. I feel that, in that regard, I am perhaps the worst choice for record keeper. I don't know. I have been assigned to compile the story of our group, starting with what I consider to be the beginning, and continuing on to our present-day activities. I will be recording all of this on a small, rose gold-toned recorder of my own invention, as I am apparently not only an artificer now, but an archivist as well. So, it utilizes a combination of physical and magical hardware. And if I am being honest, I am quite proud of how it turned out. To maintain privacy, I will sometimes be making these recordings from my portable recording tent, which is what I'm doing now. I'm borrowing it from Arthur, as he told me earlier that he doesn't use it often, and volunteered my usage of it for this task. My duties will be carried out as follows. I am to take the combined member diary entries, if and when they decide to share any of them with me, as well as field audio recordings, letters, newspaper snippets, book passages, overheard conversations, scraps of paper, handwritten notes found inside seemingly insignificant rubber chickens cast out of carriages along the countryside roads, whatever. I am to take these elements and piece them together in order to best tell the story of the Sherwood Society in the context of the events in the world around us. In addition to this, I will also be recording audio copies of my own written diary entries from my personal diary. That is what this is, although I will record a more formal statement for the records explaining my duties, minus the well-deserved self-deprecation and the sarcasm. The recordings of my diary entries will remain private and will not be included in the official group records, but I have lost my diary entries in writings no fewer than 3 times previously, so this recorder will serve as a backup copy of those physical records, to avoid the grief of losing them again in the future. I may discuss details or events in the diary entries that I do not mention in or that differ from the official report. I have decided that each recording will start with an introduction by myself, stating the name of the narrator recording the story. The entries will generally be narrated by me, but if someone really insists on recording their own, this will be noted. Then the author or source of the content will be cited, as well as the location when relevant, as well as what medium the original information was presented in. For example, whether it's a field recording I made as part of my audio journal, whether I'm narrating an entry I wrote in my own diary, or an entry someone else wrote in their diary, then giving permission to record, etc. I may also sometimes give context or additional details to the story, either before or after the content I'm recording, which will be noted as well. Furthermore...
Are you almost finished in there?
I'll be done in a minute! What do you want?
I need to repot my begonia as soon as you're done.
It's like 3 a.m. Why isn't he asleep like a normal person? I'm too distracted now, so I'll let him come in and tend to his plant. I never knew how much babysitting plants required, but apparently it must be a lot. Either that or he's just trying to get me to come out of the tent so he has someone to talk to because he's bored. But I'm very tired. I'll start recording the entries tomorrow when there hopefully won't be any begonia-related interruptions. Signing off, Victor Frankenstein. The Sherwood Society is a podcast written and directed by Ashlee Craft and produced by Exquisite Lore. Victor Frankenstein was played by Ashlee Craft, and Arthur Holmwood was played by Eden Fields. Characters were based on characters and story elements created by Mary Shelley and Bram Stoker. The theme music was by Louis Zong. You can support this podcast by telling your friends about it, giving us a good rating on the podcast site of your choice, or supporting us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can find the links in our description. Thank you so much for listening.